Well, the View gets triggered, crazy. They're terrified that Sotomayor might step down. Liberals are calling for it, not Republicans, obviously. They're starting to say, Sotomayor, you're looking a little old. You have diabetes. Time to go bye-bye. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. And this is huge. I'll wrap this up at the end on why this ends up being incredible news for Trump. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll subscribe. And let's have some fun with The View. I promise this won't hurt at all.
Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor doesn't step down.
Republicans are very good at stacking courts, at getting their people on courts, at thinking strategically about filling courts. Democrats aren't very good at seeing the power of the Supreme Court.
Now, I don't know what this guy's talking about on CNN. What Democrat doesn't know the power of the Supreme Court when they've only done pro-Roe v. Wade judges since 1973? And now it's the Republicans that have accidentally picked a few justices that went against that decision. So I've said this many times before. Republicans are, if anything, are not that careful about stacking the court, but Democrats have never made a mistake of accidentally having a judge go conservative on them.
You're annoyed with? What are you annoyed with?
I'm annoyed that he's not saying, hey, why do we still have Clarence Thomas on the court, whose wife was implicit in trying to turn over the election?
I'll let Sunny Hostin answer Whoopi.
Justice Clarence Thomas and Ginny Thomas have denied any wrongdoing.
If Sunny Hostin wasn't fake smiling, she wouldn't be smiling at all.
To go for Justice Sotomayor, who we know her thoughts, we don't always agree with them, but we know her thoughts and she's a thoughtful person. We don't know some of these other folks, and getting her off doesn't mean somebody else is going to get on and be better. So what is his point?
The direction of the Supreme Court has had liberals worried for years. And tonight, some Democrats focusing that angst on Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
Clarence Thomas should have recused himself. He shouldn't be sitting there.
She's saying Justice Clarence Thomas should recuse himself because he's married to, I think it's Ginny Thomas, who was involved with some of the election integrity stuff. I just want every liberal Supreme Court justice, if they're married to another liberal who is politically active, they have to recuse themselves on liberal jurisdictions. See how this goes? They only expect the conservatives to play by the rules, and liberals will never hold themselves to the account of the same rule.
I did not want to hear this.
Well, sit down, Whoopi.
And he is awake to the fact that Donald Trump could very much win re-election.
Elisa Farrah Griffin, mom wants the tablecloth back.
The swing in the balance of high court power is directly related to the death of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who chose not to retire at the tail end of President Barack Obama's term, despite being in her 80s and suffering from cancer.
I think there's a real fear that progressive leftists are actually going to not turn out.
Oh, yes. They're basically saying they're afraid that the left isn't going to come out and vote for Biden. And they'll probably have a good precedent set by Hillary.
At the time, Democrats were convinced Hillary Clinton would be the next president. But instead, Donald Trump pulled off the upset.
Breaking news, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died.
Justice Ginsburg passed away in 2020, and Trump appointed conservative Amy Coney Barrett to replace her.
Democrats, we don't stack the court. We don't.
You do.
We don't do that.
You do, including formally stacking the court when it got expanded to 9 justices. And you guys want to expand it now. If the Democrats were in control, they'd expand it from 9 justices to as many as 13 or 15 if they were in control, to dilute the conservatives on the court. They've already talked about this tactic.
They have stacked the court by stealing 2 seats.
Yes.
We didn't steal 2 seats. It was all legal. And plus it made up for the seats that we lost from the conservative appointed judges or the Republican appointed judges that went squishy on us.
Clarence Thomas is 75. Samuel Alito, who wrote the Dobbs decision, is 74.
Oh.
John Roberts, the Chief Justice, is the same age as Justice Sotomayor. He's 69. Kagan is 63. And so when you're pointing all of those things out, how can you then say this woman who, by the way, Justice Sotomayor is managing diabetes like millions of people in the world.
She needs to get on Ozempic.
Oh, yes. Many other liberals don't have the same confidence as Sunny Hostin. Here's some headlines For the sake of all of us, Sonia Sotomayor needs to retire from the U.S. Supreme Court. That's from The Guardian. Here's quiet fears about Sotomayor echo Ginsburg retirement concerns.
Judge Sotomayor, are you prepared to take the oath?
I am.
But she is the oldest liberal on the court and a lifelong diabetic. And some are worried the stakes are too high.
She's a baby. She's a baby.
Yes.
No one who's considered a baby should feel safe from the Democrat Party, given what they do to babies. I'm with you, Sotomayor. You should risk it. Stick around. You're just a baby, just a kid, just a young'un. Do not step down.
And so Sotomayor is the one that has them the most concerned because she is the oldest member of the liberal wing of the Supreme Court. And that is the portion of the Supreme Court that they're most worried about being in danger should President Biden lose the election.
And they're worried because they know Joe Biden will lose the election. That's the good news I want to wrap on. All of this paranoia about Sotomayor is only because they know Joe Biden's going to lose and Trump's going to win. That's good news for us. Thanks for watching. This has been Doug in Exile.